And welcome to the Talon Outdoor Show. I'm Charlie.
I'm JD.
And I'm Fred.
I'm Captain Paul Tyre.
And I'm Grant.
Well, congratulations. JD gets to go pay for a wedding, or whatever,
Yeah.
whatever you pay for this weekend.
No, you're the father of
His
the
son,
group.
his son Justin's getting married this weekend. So
That means
congratulations to
the bride's
Justin
Congratulations.
and congratulations
That
to
ain't
Justin
happening?
and his first wife.
Oh, no.
Don't ask.
We shouldn't talk about this.
Let's
No,
do
no,
not.
we're moving- anyway,
I am
so-
tickled to death for my son and his
Oh,
future
yeah.
wife, and I wish them all the best.
Well,
And
she's like a prize. I mean,
she's beautiful. Yeah,
That's why
He's
you
got
married
good
him.
taste.
That's why you married him, because you
He's
think
good
they
looking.
are.
He's a good looking guy. He's
oh,
you
yeah,
know
I mean,
He is a fine young man.
good
he
fella.
is. I
He
mean,
is, and I'm proud for him.
Yeah.
And
I got a chance to go hunting with
he's
him.
the funny part about it is he's getting married about 4 miles as the crow flies through the woods from the house I grew up
There you go.
in Mount Pleasant, Florida. Of all the places they could have got married, both of them live in Tallahassee, or they're from Tallahassee. Of all the places, they went to Mount Pleasant, 5 miles through the woods from where I grew up. So
That's because they want
I
to
probably poached on the land that that's part of the wedding venue over there at some point in time in my life. I'm almost sure I have.
Well, it'll be a pleasant marriage. I mean,
Mount
Mount Pleasant. Yeah.
Yes,
There you go.
that's what happens in Mount Pleasant. Pleasant
Well,
things.
I mean, I tried to dissuade him from getting married when we had a chance to go hunting with him not too long ago. Explained to him, you're gonna get a little bit overweight. You're gonna lose your hair. Your blood pressure's gonna go up.
He won't lose his hair. Did you see that? He won't lose his hair.
Yeah, genetically speaking, he has a very, very low probability of losing his hair.
Well, I didn't think I was gonna lose mine either. And then I got married and started practicing law.
You saw him. I mean, he's got my hair from high school, which is could have when I was in high school, my hair wasn't always white, obviously, but it started turning that way in my early 20s. But you could have used my head as a pot scrubber because it's like thick, coarse hair.
I came across some old pictures not long ago from FSU PD and from us hanging out together, and your hair has definitely changed color.
Oh, yeah.
It has turned that silver. Mine just turned completely loose, but yours has turned that silver color. I mean, we went 2 different directions. But my brother, see, in my family, I knew I was my poor son. He's going to
Destined to
lose
be
his
bald.
He's
hair.
done.
You know, I already told him. I said, son, I hate to hurt your feelings, but you better enjoy it. The girls think you're cute now. There's a window.
Take
Oh, yeah,
advantage
You
of
better
it.
grow up fast and start making a lot of money because the looks, they're going just like mine. Just be responsible. Work on that deep voice, that relaxing way about you. You have other attributes that you can work on, but it ain't gonna be your hair. And you'll always have a lot of hair. It just won't always be on top of your head.
Yeah, I didn't
so-
catch on to that
Well, so
until
but my brother, somehow or another, has his bangs, like the temples of his hair up here at the corner of his head, almost touch his eyebrows. I mean, I was like, how did you? And how did you? Where? I mean, it's almost
Got a
weird
hairy
the way-
forehead.
I was like, man, what? Because I look at him and I'm go, where does one stop? He's just a little gap in between the two. I mean, and he's just dark haired. Serious guy. I mean, he's way
Got
more
that
successful. than
Cro-Magnon
me.
gene.
Yeah, way more successful than me. But my stories are a lot funnier.
yeah.
So there's that.
I didn't start realizing I was going to lose my hair until the old man decided we needed to take up scuba diving as a family.
Uh-huh.
And I went diving with him, and I thought I was a sea fan, but it wasn't. It was his comb over that was floating on.
Look, one of those, talking about, man, did you come up out the water with something on your head? Where'd it go? Talking about wild critters. I'm driving over here a little while ago, and I drove the last trip, half the trip getting here on half of my driver's seat because I'm driving down. I ain't scared of spiders. So they don't bother me at all.
I am.
I'm driving down the road, and out of the corner of my eye, right here in my glasses, I see that you seen those big models of tarantulas, big black fuzzy-legged
Oh,
things?
yeah,
Well, there's a 1-inch version of that just drops off right there where the visor is. I just see this thing floating down. Just a steady floating speed all the way down, and I keep a car camera on in there looking forward, and you see me jump over about a half a lane. I mean, I didn't squeal like a girl or nothing, but I made a noise I don't normally make, and I'm like, what in the world? And it went down between my leg and the door, between
that's
my
when the
leg and
wreck
the door, and so I gave it a little room.
Yeah, I bet
And
you did.
I'm like,
That's
okay. And so I'm over there, and I'm like calling the wife, going, I ain't scared of spiders, but this one's got me cornered. I don't know what it is. And I've never seen one like that.
That is when I would have been calling my insurance agent.
I got the flashlight out there when I got here, and I'm looking everywhere. It's still in there.
Oh, boy.
And
It's
so
gonna wait till you go back and come back out.
Well, I
again.
mean, it's for its own safety. I don't want to
I
hurt
gave
it.
you that ozone thing back, didn't I?
Oh, I don't know if that'll kill a spider or not, but it'll kill you if you get in there. How much time we got, Grant?
Oh, we got 5 minutes.
Okay, good. So the funniest spider story, and JD will get this one. The funniest spider story I remember I ever saw where I was present for it. I do. You remember Chris Chase?
Oh yeah.
Well, Chris worked at FSU Police and then the Lynn County Sheriff's Office, and anyway, we used to hang out together when we were doing the bicycle patrol back in the day at FSU.
I remember him.
We started the bike patrol, and Chris was into mountain biking like some of us were. Chris and I used to go ride mountain bikes. We'd go out in the forest, do stuff like that. Well, we're riding along. Now, you got to picture Chris. Now, Chris worked out. He was on the SWAT team and all this stuff, but we get out on a bicycle, these mountain bikes, and he'd wear these little spandex tighty shorts and stuff like that.
I got a pair.
And anyway,
you do,
so we're
Fred.
riding through the forest, and we look down in this hole, and we in between these trees, and we see a bottom down there, like a sinkhole or something. And he goes, "Hey man, let's ride down there and see what's down there." I said, "All right." And so he took off and starts going down the hill, and I'm used to following him, and I have seen several mishaps, and they are funny. And I see him just riding. I picture a guy riding down the hill on a mountain bike, and then all of a sudden he just takes his hands off the wheel, off the bars, and you can see people ride, with no hands on the bar. And that's not unusual, but down a 45-degree slope, that's unusual. I see his hands come off, and all of a sudden, you ever seen a duck trying to get up off the water when they start flapping? I see flop, 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 and he's going and what had happened was
He run through a spider web.
he ran through one of them big old banana spider
yeah,
webs,
yeah.
and you could see the stuff going and just stretching. And normally, when you ride like that, you ride vertical. And all of a sudden, he goes to a little bit of a less than 90 degrees, 80, 60, 45, all the way down to wham, and it looked like just stuff everywhere, leaves, briars. He jumps up, and I figure he's going to jump up and go, "Man, did you see that?" No, he jumps up, and he's doing the spider dance.
Ninja skills.
The
Showing
spider
off his
web
ninja
dance, and
skills.
he's running around and screaming, and I thought, that was before all the crazy drugs were.
Something had done got him.
I thought something had got on him.
Got into flak.
He got the spirit or something.
Yeah.
And of course, I slide up there, nice and cool. "Hey man, what's going on?" He's a spider. And I just laughed, and I laughed, and I laughed. He goes, "No, you don't know. Is it still on me?" And I go, "Yeah, it's right there." And then he starts all over again. But you can't get a spider web off of you. And everybody, I don't care who you are, everybody freaks out from a spider web.
Man,
And it's funny. And if I had a GoCam or whatever those things are on the bicycle,
yeah.
I would be filthy rich right now because that was so funny.
I remember many mornings walking into the swamp to go shoot a wood duck roost or something, and walking into a spider web. Them old what do they call them? Crab spiders, shell spiders, crab spiders look like a crab.
Yeah.
And they make a giant web for a little bitty spider, and you'd walk through those things and in the pitch dark, or maybe one little incandescent bulb flashlight that you're trying to find the pond where you want to set up shoot wood ducks, and you get one of them things on you, and it don't matter how much of it you get off, that spider's still on you somewhere because you didn't see him leave. And
there's still that spider. Every time I drove my truck for the next month or two, what's the lifespan of a spider? I need to know. It ain't, but nothing beats those ones in South Dakota though that climbed up and
those didn't freak me out.
What
that
now?
bad.
What happened? It climbed up.
Oh man,
Y'all got to tell that when we come back.
Before I forget, speaking of spandex shorts,
this is the spider. This is the spider segment, and then we're gonna do the spandex shorts, and we will remind.
I was going to tell you how much I enjoyed
Okay.
that sausage that you given us a couple of weeks ago, and that stuff was really good.
he makes good summer
It
sausage.
was very good.
I'm glad you enjoyed my sausage. There.
It-
I put a lot of work into that.
Well, I mean, I even went to the store and got some Carolina Reaper cheese put on with it, and had it
Bless
on.
your heart.
And that stuff, I'm very impressed. And I hope you bring me some more of it. I appreciate it.
I probably will, depending on how you act.
I'll wear my spandex shorts.
We'll be back in a minute. No, don't. So, I went to a mandatory parent meeting for the Mariana Band last night. And my wife said, hey, I got to stay late at the sheriff's office, got blah, blah, blah. I don't know what she said. All I know is I had to go to this meeting. So I showed up to the meeting, walked in, sat down. Apparently, and I didn't know this, they're going to Disney for spring break. I wonder why we weren't as a family doing anything. It's because she's going to Disney with the band. And I'm like, okay,
What's she play?
What do we don't put me on the spot with stuff
Clarinet?
like that. What does Squidward play?
The cornet?
Clarinet. Yeah, that's what she played. Because my pet name for now is Squidward.
TMI.
She's really good. I mean, she didn't play as a freshman. She was on the flag corps, the honor guard, or whatever it is, where you twirl the flags and pick them up a couple times a game and all that stuff. And she was in that, and I was just glad to see her get out of her shell. The next year, she comes home. I hear this god-awful sound coming from the back of the house, and I'm thinking, we didn't have turkeys then, so I didn't know what it was. And next thing you know, she's she's the section leader, and she's really good.
So she's got musical talent.
Apparently, well, my father did. He played in a band and all. Anyway, so I digress. So I'm sitting there in the parent meeting, and I'm listening, and they're talking about, okay, so we're going out on the bus, and we're going to do this, and we get off the bus, and you go straight to Universal Studios. Don't get in your luggage. Don't do this. Don't do that. And so I'm looking around there talking about the chaperones and this and chaperones that. And I said, okay, chaperones, we want you to at least in the mornings when we go to the park, we need you to at least stay with the kids, preferably. You don't have to, but preferably until they get to the park as a group, and at least you can say, I saw them get to the park before they go on their separate ways. And I'm like, what?
Oh, you're going.
You
to
mean
Disney
you're
World.
not holding my hand and my daughter's hand the whole time they're there? I mean, I'm like, my wife signed the permission slip, so
you ain't got to worry about nobody getting a gun into Universal Studios.
No, that you do.
They
not.
won't let me in. Hardly let me in with a metal hip. So.
Well, I'm just. It was a bit of a shock there for a second, and then as I looked around the room,
She
and
drives
I know her
to
and her
school by
friends,
herself, Charlie.
I know, but this is my little girl.
I
This is
know.
my little
I
girl.
know.
She's 16,
17, just turned 17.
and you worried about her walking
Yeah.
around Disney World unchaperoned.
Yeah.
I'm glad you weren't my dad.
I worry about her because of people like you.
The boy.
I'm not going to be
It's-
there.
when you were 17 and today. That's what
That's
I
a
worry
legitimate
about.
concern.
I know it is.
I didn't think about it. Like
I worry
that.
about the career Freds out there
There
that
are
are
those.
just,
I mean, usually they won't let me within 500 yards of folks that are under 18.
I hope she has a good time. I really do. I don't think she realizes how fortunate. The first two daughters suffered through all the bad years of daddy trying to get by and make things happen and working around the clock and doing all that. And thank God my wife came along and helped get me on the straight and narrow and the right path. And so my second batch of children have had it way better. So, my apologies to the first two. That's what happens when us second marriage is generally way better than the first one. That's a rule. I'm just saying.
Couldn't tell you. I guess I'll let you know when it happens. I don't think it's going to.
There won't be a third for me. If this one doesn't work out, she'll probably kill me. But I ain't doing nothing wrong. And if she does something wrong, I'm pretty forgiving. I'm like,
My wife said,
whatever,
if
honey.
my wife was to say today that she was leaving, I would go pack my suitcase and ask her where we going. She ain't gonna get rid of me that easy. I done been there, done that, got the T-shirt. It was not fun.
When me and my wife were early in our relationship, we would go buy, like for Christmas, we're going to get a new TV for Christmas. We wouldn't buy individual gifts. We would go buy something big for us. And every time we'd make a big investment, of course, back then the TV was an investment. Now it's like, we just which one you want. And it's just we've finally gotten where, we're a little more comfortable. Well, it used to be, all right, so is this your TV or my TV? Because, it was one of those, is this your car or my car? It was we bought a Suburban one time, and just through the buying it and this and that and the other thing, paying it off, it ended up in my name, but it was hers. And I think that was something, till we sold it about 2 months ago, we had it for over 10 years, 12 years, something like that. I didn't say it.
You didn't say decade.
Nope, I didn't.
Thank goodness.
I'm trying to be considerate of you today because I know you're under a lot of stress.
You know, if you're going to buy an asset like that, a car, you know, always put it in your wife's name and your name. That way, it passes outside of probate if something happens to you, and it doesn't go into your estate. Just
Look at that.
a little
Some
free
legal
legal
advice.
advice there for you.
I forget you sometimes you're attorney.
Every now and then, I play one on TV.
But is that good advice or is that your advice?
That's good advice. That one actually.
So it's better. So I mean,
Well,
It actually comes from my wife,
we
who's
bought
also
that
a
car.
lawyer, so-
We bought a car not too long ago for the youngin' and for my daughter that's going to college in the fall. And the guy's like, well, "Whose name do you want? You want both of your names on the registration?" I'm
Yes,
like, yeah,
you
that's
do.
that. I said, "Yeah." And he goes, "Well, which one do you want first?" I was like, "It matters absolutely not." They were all sensitive about. Oh yeah, I'm
Yeah,
like,
you want
"Look,
to put
man,
you want to put an or in there.
yeah,
Or
yeah,
Yeah. So you know, JD or Annie.
then you can do something or she can do something.
Correct.
But it doesn't require both of you to sign it.
Correct. So you know, you get, you know, Spider kills you on the way home.
Yeah.
Then,
Yeah, and I'm gonna tell you right now, if a daggum spider, a big old hairy spider, had a done what they done, I'd be calling my insurance agent because I would have a total truck. My grandma, who she died, she was in her 80s when she passed away, and she was driving right up until the last maybe year of her life. Always had a Oldsmobile car. She'd drive that thing. She had a brand new Oldsmobile, low mileage Delta 88. And she had moved over here and moved in with my mom. And anyway, she got hankering to go somewhere one day, and she hadn't been gone. I was over at the house for some reason or another, and she hadn't been gone long, and got a call at the house where my grandma had wrecked the car and totaled it. I mean, just totaled her car. And it was on some little side street. She was going to visit somebody or something. And it wasn't like she was out in a bunch of traffic. And it wasn't long. She hadn't been gone from the house long. We got it. We loaded up in the car and went over there. And what happened, Mama? She goes, well, it was a nice day, and I had the windows down, and I was driving down the street, and I looked down, and there was a wasp, a wasp on my arm. And she went to swatting at that wasp and forgot about driving and run off the road, ran into a parked car on the side of the road. Man, the only wreck she had in, 65, 70, however long she had been driving, the one wreck she had totaled the car out over a wasp. I said, I looked at her, and you'd had to know my grandma. She was quite humorous. She was funny, and you could pick at her. She'd get tickled about stuff. But great sense of humor. And I looked at her and I said, I bet next time you let that thing sting you. She goes, you know I will.
My brother tried to kill me over a grasshopper one time when I was about 17. I was driving my F-150 jacked up with my homemade lift kit.
2x4s.
Another story.
We heard the story.
And driving in from down in Dry Creek, taking him to school and going to school, and I'm driving up right in front of McCoy's, there south of Mariana, and there's a railroad track, and there was a train on the track. I would say railroad train. We know it's a railroad train because it was on the railroad track. So and I'm looking, and there's old Andrew's Radiator Shop right there, and we was kind of backed up a little bit, and all of a sudden Wes is sitting over there, and Wes just jumps up and makes some noise, and something came from him and went right in my face, and it was going. And I didn't know what it was, and it was one of them big old green grasshoppers
big old green one.
that had been on him, and he swatted it off in my face, and it distracted me just long enough to realize to where I did not realize that all the traffic in front of me was sitting still. And so I took that and it had that 79 Ford with the two little upright bumper things on the front of the bumper, so it looked like it's in case you bump into something. Yeah, well, they ain't for bumping into nothing, because when I hit the back of that old 60-something Ford in front of me, his truck didn't bend, but my truck did. My truck, that thing spread out. I'm sitting there. So I went to an ag shop that day, and Wiley Barnes was an old Alabama football player who become one of our football coaches there. And I went in the back, and he said, take those things off. And so I took the bolts off, and you got these little chrome things all spread out. He said, give me that rubber hammer, boy. He went over there and set it on top of the table, and he said, hit it. No, I'm trying to hit it. I ain't been. He says, give me that hammer. And he hits it about 3 times and straightens it out. Hits the other one about 3 times, straightens it out. Go back and bolt it back on the truck and put the little rubber strip back on there, and it's like nothing ever happened. All over a grasshopper.
Yeah.
I hadn't met a car yet that I hadn't crashed. I missed Judge Flurry's wedding. because I crashed a car.
I'm sure Teresa wasn't upset about
No,
that.
she wasn't. No, as a matter of fact, I had crashed
It
a
was
car
a big,
earlier.
big sigh of relief across the congregation. Fred's not coming.
No, I had crashed a car earlier that week and had a rental car, and it was time to go to the wedding. And so when I got the rental car to go to the wedding, it backed into the babysitter's car with the rental car. And I got so mad about it, I just went inside and started pouting, and I missed the wedding.
I heard the story about when my parents got married. Apparently they got married, and they was like a 5 or 6 carloads of their friends, and they were all going to Panama City to the beach after the wedding. They got married there in Chattahoochee, and they're all headed in going for whatever. I guess they were taking their friends on the honeymoon, and they was all headed down there, and somehow or another managed to hit like the second or third car hit a buzzard.
Oh gosh.
That come through the windshield and
That's worse than
ruined the party when a buzzard comes through your windshield.
How does that?
Oh, I don't know. It's a buzzard on the side of the road. I guess decided when it was
I mean, what are the odds of a
hitting the buzzard?
buzzard
Probably
coming-
about like the odds of getting another hole in one, Fred.
Yeah.
It happened.
Well, listen, 200%, Fred. I hit a hoot owl one night going to town in my Toyota two-wheel drive pickup truck in high school.
Probably didn't kill him.
And but no, I was driving down a dirt road and I had a sliding window in the back. I kept it open. It was summertime, and I could the air conditioner went there. It was to roll the window down, let it flow through. And I'm driving down the road, and this hoot owl comes up, flies across the road, and I hit it with the windshield.
Oh.
And it flew up in the air, and I'm like, oh man, I sure feel bad about that. And I slowed down and changed gears, manual, look in my rearview mirror, and that hoot owl is in that gap in the rear window, flying in the vacuum air. And I'm like, holy cow!
Ooh, chasing me!
I glanced away, and he was gone. We'll be back. And we're back.
Yeah,
Well,
we are back. Oh, well, we can talk about Fred's hole in one that he got. Another
another
You
hole
need.
in
You must have had a.
Let's do that on the
on the-
Tallahassee
okay.
segment so people locally can realize how
That's
full
impressive.
of crap he is. He
I
comes
just-
in here with anyway. We'll do that on the next segment because the Tallahassee folks can't hear this one unless they're streaming, and we need to give Fred his due. But so I was in Dothan. I got to do some of the neighborhoods in Dothan the other day, just delivering some quail up there, and it's somebody made a comment on Facebook, and I had to agree with it because I've said it before. And the comment was, "I've been to Dothan and I've been to Tallahassee." And the people in Dothan are just so much nicer at businesses than they are in Tallahassee, and people are just so much more polite around Dothan. And then all these comments coming in, well, that's the true South. Tallahassee's got all his imports. You know,
We do have a
and-
lot of imports.
and-
if you go to Old Tallahassee business, like
Well, if-
Southside Mower, go there. They're about as polite
but
as you
the
can
thing
be.
is there's so much more. Tallahassee has changed a whole lot more than a place like Dothan.
Yeah.
I mean, everywhere's changed. I live in Marianna. I can tell you, it has changed a lot in my lifetime because I left for 25, 30 years and went back, but it's still kind of the same. It's different. There's less business and more issues, but but Dothan, man,
I tell you, earlier this week we took Amanda, my daughter, she's going to be going to Troy.
Oh, really?
Troy University.
she's going to
that's
go.
where
She's
decided-
going to go to Troy.
She's going to go to
Oh,
Troy.
she's going to love that.
And we went up there Monday. They had a accepted students day, and we went up there and went around the campus. Actually went to the
Campus is nice.
it's gorgeous, beautiful campus that has grown and new buildings everywhere, and there's still a lot of construction and stuff going on. So I could not get over. We had one of the professors in the college that she's going to be going to that actually will be taking classes for this guy, and he sat and talked to a small group. There's like 5 kids and the parents from her what degree she's going to seek. He was sitting there talking, and I couldn't get over how nice everybody at that university. Having worked at FSU for 14 years, I've got some experience dealing with university staff and faculty, and these people were just super nice. Everybody up there, and welcome, and we're so excited to have you. And
there's
blah,
a
blah,
reason
blah,
I married a girl from Alabama.
Yeah. It's same thing. I mean, Troy's a small town, like probably smaller than Dothan. I assume. I don't know, but
I think Dothan maybe
Dothan is big
probably
now.
bigger.
It's a whole lot bigger. But Troy's is kind of a college town. But if it's an accepted student stay, if I had gone, it would have been an accept us students game. Well, it would have been. What are you doing here?
I couldn't be no more proud of her. She got a full 4-year college scholarship, academic scholarship, plus dorm rooms, plus meal plan. And I looked at her mom and I said, she can't stay home and go to FSU for that.
Right.
Where she's got prepaid college and bright futures and all that.
Just wonder, can I trade one of my kids for her?
No, I've met your kids, Fred, and that's not a fair trade.
No,
might be great for one of us, but no.
I'll give you a gun or something else.
Well, they probably read over her application, and part of the application was tell us about your daddy, and she did, and was honest. And they said, well, we're going to give you.
Funny,
you've earned a scholarship.
Funny you should say that. You know who is what gun company is based in Troy, Alabama now, right?
I do.
Kimber.
Mm-hmm.
Really?
Kimber is they do internships for the college that she's going in, which is she's going to go to graphic design, and they're kind of morphing their graphic design program into industrial design because they have things like 3D printers and lasers and stuff that they're teaching classes on. And I told her, I said, you see there, Kimber's right here in town. The guy's like, yeah, it is. You waiting on yours too? And I'm like, I'm assuming he had one ordered. He's been waiting on a special gun from Kimber, and I'm like, no, I'm just in the industry, and I'm very familiar with.
Like design one in the shape of a flower. Or
JD will be up there going to class,
or
with
do
his
the
daughter.
Engraving artwork that they do
there
on guns and stuff. Do the designs for that and get an internship. I said, look, baby, you can be in the gun industry.
You're set for life.
And there you go. So, I'm excited for her.
Heck yeah.
Gonna be good.
I got to pay for mine.
Yeah, unfortunately.
We'll be right back. And we're back. So Fred apparently has figured out how to game the system at the golf course. So Fred has had another hole-in-one on the 15th of February. So is it the same hole, same course?
No, not
is it the same course?
Not the same course. Wow. This was on the fly, last minute, where you taking me for Valentine's Day, and Camp Creek Inn over in Watersound.
You take her, or she take you?
That's a good question. I drove.
Who paid?
I think she did.
Trophy husband.
Yeah,
I'm sure it's out the same pool of money. She's got most of it anyway, right?
She's silk stocking layer, and so we go over, and it included like a 4-course meal, which was really good, by the way, and a round of golf, and so it's a neat course. It's a really nice course, and have a nice driving range and all that. And so I wasn't trying to play my best. I mean, I was trying to play, but
you always try to play. Golf is the one sport where you're playing against yourself, Fred.
Well,
you always.
I would.
You were just goofing off. You were just having a good time.
Well, I'd gone to the little stores earlier that morning. And apparently, Luke Bryan has a cigar shop over there called the Shore Thing, and so I bought it. I was like, I'm gonna enjoy a cigar while I'm out on the course today, and I think that's what caused it. But so we get up to hole 14, and hole 14 is over the water. It's par 3.
Ball magnet. That's not water. That's ball magnet.
That's exactly what that is. So I'm like, hang on a second. Let me dig around this bag and find an old ball that I found off, in the woods somewhere, because I'm not going to hit a nice ball over the water.
You didn't hit the llama ball, did you?
I did not hit the llama ball.
That would be classic.
That would be. And so she's sitting right there watching me, and I'm just kind of lining up. She's like, would you go? And I'm like, hang on a second. I'm trying to line up. And you hit the ball over there, and it goes in. I'm like, son of a
bleep.
And I can't believe that just happened again. I mean, I've got a high handicap. I'm not the guy you want on your team. The odds of this happening are like 1 in 6 million or something like that. And this is 2 in the span of 4 months.
All right. Well, I'm gonna rub you on the head before we leave here today for good luck, and maybe I'm gonna go buy some lottery tickets or something.
So I mean, I wasn't. That's the last thing in the world I expected.
Well,
And so get in. They gave me a flag, and put the thing. It's a Tom Fazio course, so he signed the flag, and nice little award. And I got this nasty ball that I got to go. I guess you can't wash it. I mean, you got to.
No, you got to leave it. You got to leave it dirty and cut up and all that stuff, and
put it in a little case.
Yeah.
And of course, my son, who has been playing for years, scratch golfer, he's not too happy with me. He's like,
he'll get over it.
Son, maybe one day you'll achieve the level of proficiency that I have at this game.
So, on the way home, I stopped by the Shore thing, and I got him a cigar. Just say, "Here, son, take this out there. Get you a hole-in-one with a cigar." He didn't even smoke cigars, but
he chew on it.
He didn't chew on it. But I think it's got to be what it was. It's got to
be. Well, congratulations. That's awesome.
It's tickle pink. Now I'm starting to think I might get another one. I mean, you never know.
It will never happen again.
No, it won't.
Never happen again.
No, I'll end up throwing the golf club in the lake.
I've done that. That's why I quit playing golf.
Quit.
Golf got expensive for me because I played a lot of golf and got down to a pretty low handicap, and I couldn't get any better. And no matter how much I practiced, how much I played, I stayed right there at like between 6 and 8 handicap.
I can't get any worse. So.
And so then because I was playing against myself, I would get mad and I would break things over my knee and throw things into the woods and
you didn't
the
like
water.
Punch yourself or anything like
no,
that?
No, just I would break clubs and when it got to the point where I was having to reshaft a driver about every time about once a month I'm reshafting a driver because I just Bo Jackson it over my knee. I'm like, I'm done with golf.
I have broken a couple of clubs. I mean.
Yeah,
I don't think you can say you're a golfer until you've broken a club out of sheer frustration.
Yeah,
I've damaged some other people's clubs. Because when people first started taking me,
but hitting the ground accidentally is not the same thing as getting mad because you made a bad shot.
No, that's basically what. And that was back in the night when I was still at FSU and played on the FSU golf course. I didn't. And here's the thing: is you get into a sport like that, which is why I've always been really sensitive to getting people into the shooting sport. Is because I understand how there's barriers to entry. If you're uncomfortable with the system, knowing how to show up at a golf course and
proper etiquette
and actually go get on the course. I mean, to this day, if I'd have to walk in and play stupid, and I wouldn't be playing, I'd be stupid. I walk in, listen, I want to play some golf, and I don't know what I'm doing. And people don't have the balls, figuratively, to do that. Literally, you can buy them at the pro shop. You spend too much money for them. But you don't, So to go there, so I would go to a driving range, and what I would do is I would get Kendall, who works for me at the security company. He is a instructor, and I'd say, hey, take me and show me how not to look like an idiot. Of course, that would be an impossible task, but it would take a real effort. So it takes friends to say, hey, don't you want to go do this? And no, I don't, because I don't have time. But if I did, so coming to a gun range is very much the same thing. People will show up and say, I don't know what I'm doing, and that's why we have videos and we have staff that will help, and we do private lessons, and we do the same thing in the gun industry as that people do in the golf industry. Is that we will. The difference is you don't have to go run a course behind or in front of a bunch of people that look at you and judge you based on the fact that you don't know what you're doing. It's like JD going down to the Tallahassee Rifle and Pistol Club shooting all the boys with the shotgun with a commercial shot. It's a commercial shotgun.
Field grade shotgun.
And JD starts shooting circles around these old men that are mad about it.
Camouflage painted shotgun and
Are you doing something? What you shooting highbrow? What are you doing here? I'm just out shooting you, buddy.
If we run out of content, I think we ought to schedule a golf game for the three of us. Maybe Paul, you can go too. That'll give us enough to talk about for 3 months.
You can go too, Paul.
Well, let me tell you.
Grant's out of luck.
Like you're talking about.
Well, I mean, sorry, Grant could go. Grant plays golf.
Last time I hit a golf ball, I missed it the first 3 times, and I finally hit it. It went through my legs, bounced off a man's ankle, and I ain't been back.
I just wonder if I can bring my own equipment because I'm gonna bring some compressed air and a PVC pipe turned into a golf club cannon, golf ball cannon.
We'll let you fish in the magnet.
I'll do that.
They make golf club or golf ball launchers that you put on the end of a rifle, on the end of an AR-15, and you use a blank.
Let's play like that.
That's why.
Because
exactly.
they make like a gas launcher, the same thing. It does the same. That's just a converted version of that.
Yep.
See, that would be. See,
Grenade
what you do
launcher,
is
but it's a golf ball.
You
Yeah.
sneak out to the golf course and you get off in the woods, can't nobody see you. And then when they're about to swing, and they swing and you toop, and they look up and they see a ball going higher and farther than theirs, and they going, what? And they look at the people back behind, and then hide it in your bag, and you stand there and go 4.
That'll work. I'd do it. I mean,
You'd use a foot wedge too, I bet. Oh, look at that shot! Yeah,
right.
you got to get the sequence right. You got to make
golf
the noise.
could be so much more fun if it became like a game of dodge golf.
Dodge golf.
It is when I play.
And you got people playing from one direction and from the other direction at the same time, and then you were teeing off on the green from one hole back at the other one. And
you've seen the videos where guys sneak up behind somebody at the driving range with a shotgun, and when they hit the ball or chip in practice, and I think the Duck Dynasty did it, where they're out there hitting the pitching wedge, and somebody's got the shotgun behind them, and it's like pull, pow, shooting.
You
golf
get
ball.
your butt shot doing that.
Now, they make these balls. I saw them on the internet the other day. You hit it, and then when you hit it, it triggers something in the ball, then it
Stabilizer.
explodes when it goes over the.
Nice.
Like 100 yards out, it's like, bam!
If you could make a golf, those little dog toys that's got the spinny thing in it that move around, got a squirrel tail on it.
Gyroscope.
Yeah.
If you could make a little golf ball, had that in there, and
Oh,
they had the same weight, feel.
They make golf
make
balls that are self-correcting if you to keep you from hitting a slice or a hook or whatever that will straighten itself out. They're not legal to play with.
That's
but
not what I was playing with.
Yeah,
when I
sure, Fred. You just grabbed any old ball out of the bag. Look for the worst looking one.
That's why you're getting these old ones.
No, they make a gyro stabilized. That technology
That's cool.
exists.
Wow.
And
Just
that-
like the old what was those? I can't.
Where
remember.
do you buy those? Because I
don't know, but I've seen them. I've seen them in like one of the the magazines that you see on the airplanes. I've seen them something like that. Maybe.
I got to get an
Yeah.
airplane ticket. 'Cause I got to.
You couldn't get me on an airplane right now. Just
Oh,
saying.
no kidding.
Not right now.
Too much silliness going on.
That's another story.
We'll be back. And we're back. So I'm going to do something a little different on the show editing for the YouTube channel. We are actually going to implement several different media platforms, and we're going to start using some software to slice these things up into shorts. Been seeing a bunch of that stuff, talked to some people and know it works. Tried it in here. It's very interesting.
If you start doing TikTok dances on the show, Charlie,
There won't be any TikTok dances, but there will be an effort to get more of this out there.
I had to walk out of that. I had to walk out of that meeting the other day. He was in here talking to Matt and Chris and brainstorming all this TikTokery, and
I thought that was closed down.
No,
No,
it's wide open.
Trump and them opened it back up again.
Yeah, I'm just sitting there imagining Charlie doing TikTok dances, and I'm going, this. I don't want no part of this. And
No, you may see some critters or something on there, but the
are they going to be be doing TikTok dances?
I don't know.
There won't be no
I
TikTok
want
dances.
I want a video
Now, if I
of
can-
that turkey whooping your tail. That's what I want.
That turkey hates me.
Well, let's
Still?
just go
You still
ahead
have
and
not
get
made
Donna to
amends with
hold
that turkey?
get Donna to hold the camera
Oh,
and
actually,
go
I was-
at it in the pen and make it happen, Captain.
No, man, I had a piece of plastic in front of him today. I'm pushing him away from me so I can go in there and get one of the chickens laid an egg on the ground instead of in the egg box. And she's doing it. I think she's ambushed. She's setting me up for an ambush, or he's getting them out and setting them there as a trap. Because I get out, I pull the electric fence back, and I go in there, and I go into the coop to get it, and then he tries to ambush me. And so I took a piece of that plastic like campaign sign. We use it from target backers, and I had a piece, and I was kind of shooing him away. And I guess he got mad because he couldn't get to me. And he bowed up and flapped his wings. So they can hurt you with a wing. And he spurred me and poked a 3 or 4 inch gash through that plastic. And he really doesn't have
keeps
sharp
doing
spurs.
that, he's going to be.
So this is like the
He's going to be a turkey dinner is
That's
what he's
right.
going to be. Because the
That's
first time I told my wife, she goes, "We're not getting rid of him." I said, "The first time he draws blood, I'm going to kill him right there."
He'll wring his neck.
On the spot.
Did
It ain't animal
Orwell,
cruelty when it's a turkey. It's a game.
That's right.
It's raised for food. Now,
Fred's got a question. See that perplexed look on his
did Orwell write Animal Farm? Is that who that was?
George Orwell.
Yeah, that's
You're
what-
asking us a literary reference?
Yeah, because I'm
Yeah.
thinking this
Animal
is like the
Farm.
No.
redneck version of Orwell's Animal Farm. I mean, otherwise known as a foul conspiracy.
Yes, he did.
He
Okay.
did?
Yeah.
Mr. Google over there. You just looked
I
it
didn't
up.
need to Google.
Yeah.
You acting all smart
Well, I-
with
I
that,
knew it. I just
with
wanted
that
to make sure I was
computer in
right.
your hand. So no, I'm this is I got eggs in the incubator. Because I couldn't find the ones I wanted. I got some eggs in the incubator. I picked up some from the local source here. I got some
Quail egg?
black copper Morans that lay a chocolate covered
Chickens.
egg, and then I got some cream leg bar, a rooster, and then I got some Shetland hens that lay a bluer egg. It's anyway. I don't know. My wife thinks I'm crazy.
Isn't it,
price
this
of
is about
eggs
the
have been
time
up.
of year.
It ain't about the price of eggs, Paul. You're going to spend more money raising chickens and
Oh, yeah.
getting eggs than you ever will buying eggs. I don't care if they're $15 a dozen. It costs more money to raise them.
But you can go out there and get them when you want them.
But I got about 3 dozen eggs sitting there. And if I'd have had time, I'd have brought some more in today. But I
There is nothing like fresh eggs that have never been refrigerated. They're
Yes.
fresh eggs, unwashed. You wash
They're
them before you
brighter
cook them.
orange. The yolk,
they're
they're
just
totally
taste
different.
so much better.
and the thing is now nothing shows up on my when I'm scrolling through Facebook and all those things and all that. It's half of it was bird dogs, and now it's chickens and pigs and I so far I've managed. I found one pig to buy at a reasonable price, a gilt that hadn't had pigs yet, female cooney, and then I've got a friend of ours
cooney
that's going to
to
give
you?
me one that he's bred one time, and had pigs, and then I think I found a couple more sources out there, and if I can get my fence put up here in the next couple of weeks, you're going to see some hogs, something the Stricklands
Speaking
buy
of
we
hogs.
would never own again.
Hey, speaking of hogs, you've been catching some hogs this week.
Yeah.
You know, the fishing has been very good. We had this last cold front come through. The crappie bite has been exceptional. And JD, I was going to ask you: have you ever fished for crappie on the bed with minnows? Have you done that growing up?
No, we did not do a lot of crappie fishing or sockeye fishing or speckled perch fishing when I was a kid. We just didn't. I don't know why. I think because my grandparents would they liked fish that you could freeze, that you could go out and catch a mess and put them in. I have never. I've always been told that
Throw 'em
they
in
don't freeze
that-
well.
Throw them
I've
in a gallon
always
jug
heard-
and fill it up with water and
That's
put it in
it.
the freezer.
I always heard that. I had a man I took a couple weeks ago, caught a bunch of crappie. They're in the food service business. He told me, and I've everybody I asked about this, they said no, I've never done that. But you can take them crappie or whatever fish it is. Don't wash the slime off. Freeze them whole, guts and everything. They'll keep up to 6 months. You thaw them out. It'll be just like you just caught them. Clean them right then. You need them. I've never heard. Have you ever heard anything like that, JD?
No, because that's
'Cause a lot of people
first
won't
thing
freeze
happened.
crappie. Once they
first
clean 'em, they
thing
won't freeze
happened
'em.
when we got to the house after fishing was the hide, the scales and the guts come off of them.
That's right.
And my
That's right.
grandparents would save milk jugs and cut the top out of them, like Charlie was saying. Save old gallon milk jugs, cut the top off, leave the handle on.
Yeah.
It was a method to where you cut. Fill that thing up with water and fish and freeze them in the water, and they stay. You keep them a long time like that too.
Man,
Yeah.
there used to be the bottom of our freezer at the house used to just be
Lined
lined
up.
with them
Yep.
things. Yeah.
Nowadays, you
those
vacuum
two-
pack them and they
The,
just.
the crappie fishing has been exceptional, and the bass fishing has been really good too. There's a bunch of fish been spawning. I think it was like what it take 25 pounds when there was a college tournament a week ago on Friday.
Yeah, I know the high school tournament. The biggest bag I saw was 21, 22 pounds. So I don't know what the
bite's been
college tournament
really
did.
good. We just had this last cold front that kind of backed them off, but it's fixing to get that time of
Yeah, so I was wondering, this cold that we just had, did that slowed them down?
on the bass, it backed them off a little bit, but starting tomorrow, I think as we go forward, we're going to warm and
So
trend.
Sunday evening might be a good
Yes.
time to shoot at them.
It sure will be.
All
All
right.
this week coming up.
So let me ask you this: do you ever troll for these crappie with perch with beetle spins? That ever happen?
No, I don't troll for them. Now they're up shallow spawning, so I'm actually using live scope to find them, and then throwing minnows to them. You can throw the minnow over there and watch the fish slowly rise up to the mouth. Say, hey, folks, your cork's fixing to go under, and then it just it's.
So you got a
that's
live
been
minnow?
kind of neat.
You
Yeah.
got a live minnow. Okay. Where are you getting the minnow? Just catching them, or
That's a secret minnow.
this
You
is-
can't.
He's been asking me a lot.
It's a
He's been
secret
asking
minnow.
me a lot of questions about keeping minnows and how we used to keep them here, and it's
No, I'm just kidding. I get some minnows from down there on at Wingett's or at Ease
Y'all
now
sold
they
them
have
at one point,
and down there on Lake Talcon on is it 267 that runs down below Quincy? The
How big are
Top
the
Cast place right there. They got them
how big are they?
about 1.5 inches.
you get the silver ones or you get the gold ones. Huh? They got gold
The
ones.
gold ones.
Yeah.
You just put a hook in between the lips, or
Yep, right between the lips. Yeah, you don't want to stick it too far back. You'll stick it right through the brain, kill them.
That's a fact. That is a fact. You get them in the lips, not the head.
That's right. You don't want to kill unless the crappie are really. If you're dragging them in, you can put them. It don't matter how you hook them, you kill them. You'll still come in it.
all right. So you just put it through the lip, let him sit there and wiggle around.
And the way you cast it, you can't. You got to just lob it out there.
Or you'll sling him off.
You
You'll pull his
sling it
lip
right-
slap
his-
off.
The minnow go 100 feet out there.
It's like a
You know,
brim hook.
My
Yep,
brain,
little
my
brim,
brain is
size
going
4.
90 to nothing right now.
4 or 6, six at the smallest, and 4 at the biggest.
Yep.
And yeah,
And I've been getting some with the size 2, but I tell you what, using that jig, just going to a 1/16 ounce up shallow and just kind of hopping it around. Man, they've been biting
Two's
that
bigger
thing.
than a 6.
Yes.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you want the
Not a 2 alt,
Like we
but a number
the
2.
shell cracker
right.
we use
I
a
hate
6
the way
usually.
they do that with hooks. I mean,
Oh, it's confusing as all get out.
you said you got to sit there and look at them.
Yeah.
To figure out the two. Who came up with that idea?
Yeah, it goes
Two
backwards,
alt
I guess.
and then size 2, and it goes
Well,
the
it's
other
like
way.
wire. It comes from the wire industry, like electrical wire. The bigger the gauge, the higher the number, the smaller the wire.
Maybe that's
16,
like we
16 gauge wire is tiny compared to
That's
10
right.
gauge or 8
That's
gauge.
right.
Maybe that
That's
explains
right.
why we
And
call
the fish
somebody
hooks
that's
are-
on drugs wired. Because it don't make a bit of sense.
I don't know, Fred. I wouldn't have gone that direction. I don't know. Your
I mean, it's-
corrupted brain there.
it's-
Yeah, I don't know.
If you did what I did for a living all day, your brain would be out of whack too. I mean,
Go fishing, Fred.
it's,
Sometimes you just need to go hit a hole in one or go,
Yeah,
go
go ahead.
fishing.
that's,
Go shoot something.
yeah. I mean, that's
I
bad.
need to go shoot something. I mean, that Matt tried to get me to go to the range this morning and go shoot.
It helps. I mean, just to destroy something. It just
Well, I get enjoyment out of shooting, and I just don't get to do a lot of it.
that's why I
Unfortunately,
look forward to Fridays every week. I get to come in here and actually talk to normal people.
If I could
Bless
go
your
watch
heart.
you play golf, I would. It would be like watching Dorf. Just Tim Conway all day. You look so much like Tim Conway that it's uncanny sometimes. And then when I think about you on a golf course, that's all
Making
I
a
can
hole in
think
one
about.
too,
Mrs. O'Higgins.
over water.
Anybody
like
anybody doesn't know what Dorf. If you're this generation,
there's a VHS Dorf on golf. There was a whole hour-long videotape
yeah.
of him, and
My
that was
favorite is the
That's
Siamese
basically like making
elephant.
a gas and say, I'm gonna catch you 10 pounds.
1987 film, Dorf on golf. 30 minutes long. It's worth looking up on
Bring us a little
YouTube.
midget out there with them elephants.
But what about just shooting the ball with a gun?
Got
Let's
a
do
little
that.
monkey
I
on
like
there.
we need to try that.
Let's
don't
try that.
we? All right. See y'all next week.
All right.
Can we get a gun like that? JD,
Got the gun. We just don't need to do that.
hey, no, it's us with a gun against you. And since you.